Are you looking for a fun way to add texture and interest to your handmade cards? In today's video, I'm showing you how to make a curtain fold card. It's easier than it looks and a perfect way to show off your double-sided pattern paper. I'll walk you through each step, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be sharing 2 more variations on this fold that you can try next. Hey everyone, it's Lean from ColoradoLean.com. Welcome back to the craft room. Let's go ahead and jump right into our project. For my pattern paper, I'm going to be using a scrap piece from the Die Cuts with a View Silver Leaf paper pad. This is a very pretty paper. Let's go ahead and bring in our paper trimmer. This is the Tim Holtz and Tonic Studio Rotary Media Paper Trimmer. We need to cut our pattern paper to 4 inches wide by 11.5 inches long. And on the 11.5 inch side, we will score this at 3 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, 9 inches, and 10 inches. So again, our score lines on the 11.5 inch side are at 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Before we put our paper trimmer away, let's go ahead and make one additional mark. I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to rotate this so that the right-hand side of the pattern paper is now in the corner. And I am going to mark up from the bottom 2 3/4 of an inch, or 1 1/4 inches down. And this time I'm going to bring in my Fiskars paper trimmer. What we're going to do is we will make an angle cut from our mark at 2 3/4 of an inch down to the point on the bottom left hand of the paper. So I will line up my mark, and then I will rotate this to the point, and then we will make our cut. And this is what we are left with. When we are ready to start folding our pattern paper, we do want to do our best to line up this top inch with the folds. If it's a little bit off, that's okay. We can always trim that up when we're done. The first thing we want to do on the left-hand side is we want to fold our paper to the back so that we have a mountain fold, so that the fold comes up. So let's line that up and then burnish that down. And then our next fold will be a valley fold. So let's fold this back over. Then we will make another mountain fold, a valley fold, a mountain fold, and a valley fold. When we are finished with our folding, it will look like this. Okay, and I folded my paper incorrectly. Let me bring in my sample card. And the best thing about this particular fold is that you can see the front and the back of your pattern paper. Now, if I continued to fold this up, this right here would still be a very pretty addition to a card front. But if you can see the front and the back, that's even better. We just have to refold the other direction. So instead of starting with a mountain fold, we'll start with a valley fold and then a mountain fold. So I do apologize for that. Actually, I think I have done that with almost every card I've made. I just keep forgetting. This is what we have for our curtain fold card. Now, I have seen some creators only glue down the very top of their curtain so that the rest of it, looks like a movable piece of fabric. I personally prefer to glue mine closed. So what I'm going to do is put adhesive, in this case I'll be using art glitter glue, on the fold. Just to make my life a little bit easier when I'm putting this onto the card, I'm also going to glue the back side. And there we go. I'm going to set this aside for just a few minutes so we can start working on the rest of our card. I already have some card bases cut and folded. This is 110 pound white Recollection cardstock cut to an A2 size card. It is 8.5 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall, scored down the middle at 4 4/4. For my card mat, I'm going to be using a piece of pink Basil Basic cardstock. This came in a 6x6 paper pack that has been in my stash for years. Let's go ahead and trim this down to 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. And that will fit on our card front like that. I have brought my curtain back in, and I just want to show you that with the measurements that I used, this will fit perfectly on an A2 size card. However, because I trimmed my card mat down, I am now going to trim down my curtain as well. I will bring in my 8.5 inch Guillotine trimmer from Holtz. When I hold the curtain and the mat together, I need to trim off about 1/4 inch. I can either just take that from one end, or I could split the difference and take it from both ends. I did kind of split the difference. This edge here wasn't quite square, so I squared that up, and then I trimmed off the rest from this side. And now that will fit perfectly onto our card mat. To adhere this down, I am going to be using score tape. I want to make sure that this stays in place. As always, I added some art glitter glue on top of my score tape, and I have my mat in my mini Misti to help me line this up. If it's not perfectly lined up, I can always go back and trim this up, which I will probably do, but we'll see how it looks. Most people, when they make a curtain fold card, will use a piece of ribbon to decorate the top of it. Today, I'm going to be using the Regal Borders and Pockets die set from Heartfelt Creations. And I'm just going to be using this scallop die here. I trimmed this from a piece of 110 pound Recollections cardstock. On the back side, I have this marked in the center, and then I have it marked out on either side to approximately 5 1/4 inches wide, which is what our card front is. I may have to do a little extra trimming because I did trim this up just a tiny bit, but this will definitely give us a starting point. Now I just have to decide how wide I want my valance. And I think I want it to be 3/4 of an inch wide. I am going to poke out this little hole though, so I don't forget. And as always, I'm going to bring in the tool that works best. And in this case, it is my 6.5 inch Guillotine paper trimmer from Tim Holtz. And then I will line this up at 3/4 of an inch. And that is going to look super pretty. I am going to jump off camera real quick. I will put some score tape and art glitter glue on the back of my valance and glue that down to my card front, and I'll be right back with you. Let's work on our sentiment now. I have a scrap piece of 110-pound Recollections card that I am putting in my mini Misti. And as always, Kaisercraft occasions to the rescue. And I'm going to stamp it with Gina K Designs Amalgam ink, re-inked in Obsidian Black. That is such a beautiful stamp. I love that font. To trim out my sentiment, I am going to be using the Sentiment Labels dies from Spellbinders Paper Arts. And I'm just going to use the small one. I'm going to be using 2 pieces of the Best Ever craft tape, also from Spellbinders, to hold my die in place. And then I will run this through my Sizzix Big Shot, and I'll be right back. To attach this to my card front, I am going to use 2 brads, another item that has been in my stash for years. I have a brushed silver brad that I could use that would go well with my paper. Or I have some shiny silver. Let's get one of these out and take a look. Oh yeah, I definitely like the shiny one better. I'm going to bring in a foam mat. I have no idea what this is from, but it is very handy to have for stuff like this. And I want to line up my sentiment here on the bottom. That looks good. And then I'm going to take my Tim Holtz pokey tool and just make a little starter hole. Now I will extend it so that I can get to the thickest portion here. And I will just work this into my paper, being careful not to rip it or bend it too much. I have them started, and I'm just going to set this down on my work surface and press them down. And then that will flatten them out. The only thing we have left to do is put our card front onto our card base. And I'm going to be doing that with score tape and a little bit of art glitter glue. And there is our finished curtain card. I think that turned out so beautiful. Here is our finished card from today's tutorial, as well as my original attempt at the curtain fold design. It is such a simple, elegant, and a fun way to highlight your double-sided pattern paper. Now, if you are ready to take this curtain fold a step farther, check out this double curtain fold card. It adds a little bit more flair while still being beginner friendly. And if you want to really stretch your skills just a bit more, here is a double pleated fold. It might look super fancy, but it's still very easy to make. Now, I did make this one with a piece of scrap pattern paper that I had in my stash. However, if you'd like to recreate it or any of the cards here today, down in the description and in the corresponding blog post, you'll find downloadable templates with the measurements and score lines. Don't forget to check that out. If you're curious about the products used on any of these samples, you'll find all the details and links when available over on the blog post at coloradolean.com. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you won't miss the next creative tutorial. I'll see you next time. Bye.